In any social situation, you will always find one typical pattern. When specific individuals speak, people stop, listen, and react. Watch how the same room responds to others. They barely react. In 3 out of 5 cases, the person speaking clarifies faster, fills the silence, and, most of all, explains themselves. So why is it that although their words work harder, they still matter less? The difference between the two situations is not very dramatic. In fact, it is barely visible. But once you notice it, you see it everywhere. Classrooms, meetings, friendships, and leadership. And the frustrating part is that most people spend years trying to fix the wrong thing. If you have ever felt that gap between what you say and how seriously it's taken, don't click away yet. The reason sits beneath the surface, and it only becomes obvious when everything else fails. At some point in that pattern we just talked about, most people reach the same conclusion. I need to sound more confident. So they work on tone, posture, articulation, and charisma. And for a while, it looks like progress. They speak louder, clearer, more prepared. Yet the reaction from the room barely changes. That is because what's missing isn't confidence. It's something far less visible and far more powerful. The people who are taken seriously without effort usually aren't performing anything. They aren't projecting dominance or trying to control perception. They're simply operating from self-respect. In practical terms, that means they take their own time, words, and commitment seriously. They don't overpromise. They don't say things casually that they don't intend to back up. And because of that, when they do speak, it registers. This is how self-respect shows up externally as integrity and personal accountability. Integrity isn't about being morally impressive, it's about alignment. Your behavior matches what you say so consistently that people stop questioning your intent. Accountability works the same way. When something doesn't go as planned, you don't rush to explain, justify, or deflect. You take responsibility and move forward. That steadiness builds quiet trust. Here's the distinction that changes everything. Confidence is internal. It's how you feel in a given moment. Self-respect is behavioral. It's what you do when no one is watching, correcting, or validating you. You can feel confident and still be unreliable. You can feel unsure and still be deeply respected, as long as your actions are consistent. Humans subconsciously trust predictability. When someone's behavior makes sense over time, when their reactions, standards, and follow-through are aligned, it creates a sense of stability. And stability reads as competence. That's why self-respect can't be rushed or faked. It isn't built in a single interaction. It accumulates quietly through repetition until one day, people start listening before you even finish speaking. Once you understand that self-respect is behavioral, the pattern from the beginning becomes clearer. The people whose words seem to matter less aren't necessarily wrong, unintelligent, or unclear. They're misaligned. They say more than they do and then try to compensate with an explanation. Alignment is simple in theory, say less, do more, but in practice it requires restraint. It means resisting the urge to speak before you're certain you'll follow through. It means letting action carry the weight instead of trying to front-load credibility with words. Every small promise you make teaches people how seriously to take you. I'll get back to you. I'll handle it. I'll send it later. When those things don't happen, nothing dramatic occurs. No confrontation, no fallout. Just a quiet recalibration. People start listening differently. They don't rely on your words the same way. And over time, you're forced to work harder just to be heard. This is why people don't actually listen to what you say. They watch what you repeat. Patterns matter more than statements. A single aligned action carries more authority than a dozen well-phrased explanations. When you consistently honor your word, your words gain weight. When you don't, even honest statements start sounding optional. You see this everywhere. At work, the person who delivers quietly is trusted more than the one who constantly reassures. In friendships, reliability matters more than emotional speeches. In leadership, consistency outperforms charisma. In academics, disciplined follow-through earns more respect than raw intelligence. Alignment turns self-respect into something visible. It removes the need to over-clarify, over-defend, or oversell. And once people sense it, they stop testing you. Self-respect is internal, but people don't read minds. They read patterns. And these patterns show up through behavior. And by behavior, we mean quiet, repeatable signals that tell others how seriously to take you. The first, as we already mentioned, is honoring your word. Reliability is the fastest way to earn respect because it removes uncertainty. When you consistently do what you say you'll do, people stop questioning you. And this isn't about big promises. It's the small ones that matter most. I'll get back to you actually means getting back. I'll send it later actually means sending it. Over time, this follow-through compounds into a reputation. Your words stop sounding casual. They start sounding final. Next is decisive communication. People who are taken seriously don't flood conversations with filler. They don't soften every statement with disclaimers or turn assertions into questions. They speak clearly, concisely, and only when they have something to add. This doesn't make them quieter, it makes them heavier. When someone doesn't speak just to be heard, people listen when they do. Then there is owning your expertise. Being taken seriously requires competence, not loud competence, real competence. Respect grows when preparation meets opportunity. You don't need to announce what you know. In fact, announcing it often does the opposite. Expertise reveals itself through readiness, clarity, and the ability to handle pressure without scrambling. A confident demeanor is the nonverbal side of self-respect. Posture, eye contact, and stillness. Calm presence over exaggerated confidence. Nervous energy, which shows through fidgeting, rushing, and over-smiling, signals uncertainty, even when the content is correct. Stillness tells people you trust yourself enough not to perform. Finally, setting boundaries, saying no without guilt, and respecting your own time. People value access to those who don't overextend themselves because it signals self-worth. When you treat your energy as finite and valuable, others follow your lead. Although most people ignore it, the clearest sign of self-respect is how you treat people who can't do anything for you. Equal respect, regardless of status, isn't just politeness, it shows your character, and people notice it more than you think. Arrogance repels because it's rooted in insecurity. It needs hierarchy to survive. Quiet humility, on the other hand, attracts because it's stable. When someone treats everyone with the same level of courtesy, be it assistants, juniors, or strangers, it signals internal grounding. This consistency reinforces your self-respect. You're not adjusting your behavior to chase approval or advantage. You're operating from a fixed standard, and that standard becomes part of your reputation. People trust those whose conduct doesn't change based on who's watching. Humans are drawn to stability. We look for predictability, calm competence, and emotional control, especially in uncertain environments. Self-respect signals all three at once. When your behavior is aligned, people know what to expect from you. That reliability feels safe. Emotional regulation shows maturity. Consistent standards signal leadership. On a subconscious level, people mirror how you treat yourself. If you respect your time, words, and boundaries, others instinctively do the same. And when you stop chasing validation, something interesting happens. Respect arrives on its own. Being taken seriously isn't about demanding respect, perfecting delivery, or mastering social tricks. It's about alignment day after day. Start small, keep your word, speak with intention, respect your time, own your actions. These aren't dramatic changes, but they compound faster than anything else. And if this video shifted how you think about respect, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Until next time.